Hey there, friends. So welcome to week 1 of Trailblazers, which is story time for grades kindergarten, 1st and 2nd grade. My name is Miss Melissa, and I will be leading the Trailblazers here for the winter and spring of 2022. Each week, I'm going to send you a video where I'm reading some different stories to you. And then you have craft kits, one for each week that goes along with the video and deals with some of the stories that we've read. So I'm going to read right now to you a couple of books, and I thought it would be interesting to read some books about Valentine's Day, because I know Valentine's Day is coming up super soon. And I'm sure, probably like in our house, you guys are probably super excited about Valentine's Day. Maybe you're making Valentines for your classmates in your class, or you're planning a party maybe. Maybe you're gonna eat some cool heart-shaped cookies, whatever it is. I know Valentine's Day is always a fun holiday, so I thought it'd be cool to share some stories about Valentine's Day. So the first story I have for you deals with this guy here. He's a black cat, a cat named Splat. Ooh, those words rhyme. And it's called Love Splat by Ron Scotton. Ron is the author, so he wrote the words that we're about to read. Splat stared into the bathroom mirror. A worried Splat stared back. His heart drummed and his tummy rumbled. And there he is looking into the mirror. And around the mirror there's words. It says, "Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the most handsome cat of all?" His heart drummed and his tummy rumbled. He sounds maybe like he's nervous. I wonder what he's nervous about. He straightened his whiskers, ruffled his fur, and brushed his teeth. Today, he wanted to look just right. After all, today was Valentine's Day. Splat had made cards for everyone in his class, and he also made a special card for a certain cat in his class. That cat was named Kitten. She had snowy white paws and pea green eyes, and Splat liked her more than fish sticks and ice cream. But whenever Kitten saw Splat, she pulled his ears and poked his belly, tied his tail, and called him Smelly. And then she'd run away. That's not very nice of Kitten, is it? I don't know if Kitten likes Splat. "Why does she do that?" Splat sighed. Seymour just shook his head. Yes, Seymour's his friend. Splat practiced his smile one last time and left the bathroom. His family wished him a very good morning. He ignored his breakfast and gazed at a little red envelope. It says Kitten on it. On the front of the envelope, in Splat's very best writing, was a single name, Kitten. Splat tucked the envelope in his bag and left for school. His tummy rumbled loudly on the way. He was so busy telling his tummy to be quiet that he didn't see Kitten coming around the corner. Uh-oh, what do you think is gonna happen? Gonna run into each other? Splat! He bumped into her. And when he tried to say sorry, his tongue turned to jelly. His legs wobbled like rubber. And his tummy, it rumbled louder than ever. This happened every time that he saw Kitten. Kitten gave Splat a funny look. Then she pulled his ears and poked his belly, tied his tail, and called him Smelly. And then, you guessed it, she ran away. Why does she do that? He sighed. And Seymour, his mouse friend, Seymour just shook his head. I think it's funny that he has a little cloud over his head. It's almost like when Splat gets upset, this cloud appears and it kind of rains on him. I don't know if it's showing how upset Splat is when that cloud appears. Later, in cat school, all the class swapped their Valentines. Splat sat at his desk, clutching the little red envelope. "I'll give it to her soon," he said to Seymour. But soon, it was recess. Splat sat quietly on a bench, still clutching the little red envelope. He didn't see the cat sneaking up behind him. "Boo!" cried Spike, and Splat jumped. And he dropped the little red envelope. Spike picked it up and read the name on the front. Remember what the card said on the front? It said Kitten, remember? "I like Kitten too," Spike announced. "And I like her more than you do." Uh-oh. So Spike also likes Kitten. "But I like Kitten this much," said Splat. "And I like her this much," said Spike. "Ah," groaned Splat. Splat pulled a piece of chalk from his pocket and drew a heart on the ground. "I like Kitten this much," he said. And notice, oh, I almost forgot. See the cloud? The cloud's back. It's like every time Splat gets upset, that cloud shows up. "And I like Kitten this much," said Spike, and he drew a heart around the whole playground. "Well, I made Kitten a special Valentine's card," Splat said. "You call that a card?" Spike said smugly. There's his card, and it also says Kitten on the front. It looks a little bigger. There's Splat's card, there's Spike's. Spike's is bigger. "Ah," groaned Splat. "It's not fair." His cloud is back. Seymour shook his head. Splat's card looked teeny weeny next to Spike's, and with a sigh, he threw it in the trash. Kitten opened Spike's card. The message inside read, "You are so lucky that I like you." Kitten smiled, but Splat did not. And Splat turned away. He's so upset. Splat did not see the snowy white paws lift the little red envelope from the trash, or the pea green eyes read the name on the front. See the little white paws? That looks a lot like Kitten. Kitten took the card from the envelope and she opened it. And in Splat's very best writing were 3 little words. "I like you." And look at the picture Splat made. It's a picture of him and Kitten together. Kitten sat down next to Splat, and uh-oh, Splat has his cloud back. See? He's so upset. And Kitten gave Splat a little pink envelope. On the front was a single name, Splat. Splat opened the envelope, and on the card was a rhyme. "Your fur is soft, and I like to stroke it. You make a silly noise in your belly when I poke it. Your tail is so bendy, it makes me laugh. And you smell really nice when you've just had a bath." And inside the card, in Kitten's very best writing, were 3 little words. And I think the 3 little words are on the next page. So I'll turn it here and I'll tell you what those words are. And look what they are. "I like you." Kitten Kitten wrote the same thing in her card that Splat wrote. And that's the end of our story. So even though Spike seemed to like Kitten, I think Kitten really liked Splat. And Splat liked Kitten too. All right, I have another Valentine story for you. This one is about these animals. They're slugs. And it's called Slugs in Love. And I like this title page. It's showing you pictures of the slugs. This one is Herbie, and this one is Mary Lou. Mary Lou loved everything about Herbie. How his slime trail glistened in the dark, how he could stretch himself thin to squeeze inside the cellar window, how he always found the juiciest tomato. Though she never spoke a single word to him, she was too shy. She thought about Herbie every morning and every night and most of the hours in between. On Monday, while she grazed in the strawberry patch, Herbie filled her mind and a love poem filled her heart. She wrote it in slime in the watering can. Strawberries are red, blueberries are blue. Herbie is handsome. Love, Mary Lou. The next morning, Herbie found it. He looked around. There were already at least 60 slugs in the garden. Which one, he wondered, was Mary Lou? Herbie decided to send a message back. He wrote it on the garden hoe. Mary Lou, which one are you? Meet me here at 2:30. Yours truly, Herbie. But the gardener put the hoe away in the barn, so Mary Lou never saw Herbie's message. On Tuesday, while Mary Lou was hiding from the sun in the ivy, she saw Herbie hiding under a stone, and a poem came immediately to mind. She wrote it on the wheelbarrow later that day. The sun is shining all around. It shines on field and tree, but Herbie's safe beneath a rock. I wish he'd think of me. Love, Mary Lou. Mary Lou loves Herbie, teased Jethro on Wednesday morning. Herbie blushed. Who is Mary Lou, he asked. But Jethro didn't know either. Herbie sent another message. This time he wrote it on a fence where it would stay put. To Mary Lou, you could make my life complete. I'd love to meet someone so sweet. Tell me where, and I'll be there. Sincerely, Herbie. But that afternoon it rained, and his letter washed away. Even when Mary Lou was sleeping, poems to Herbie filled her dreams. She woke early and wrote another poem on the scarecrow. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Herbie, Herbie, handsome slug, Mary Lou would love a hug. Love, Mary Lou. Just keep writing love poems to each other. That Mary Lou is some poet, said Sammy. Do you know her? Herbie asked excitedly. I think she's the brownish one, said Sammy. All day long, Herbie searched for a brownish slug, but next to the brown dirt, they all looked a little brown. Herbie left another message on the watermelons. Your poems make me happy. Your poems make me glad, but I can't find you, Mary Lou, and that makes me feel sad. Your friend, Herbie. But Mary Lou was in the squash patch that day and didn't see Herbie's note, so she left another poem behind on the zucchini. Herbie, you would make me as happy as can be if you just pay attention and please, please notice me. Love, Mary Lou. There's the zucchini there. Herbie was at his wit's end. He had been noticing her. Well, her poems anyway. And he asked everyone he could think of if they knew her. I think she's the greenish one, said Homer. I think she's the pinkish one, said Dudell. Maybe she's the one who likes tomatoes, said Adelaide. All slugs like tomatoes, said Herbie. But Adelaide had given him an idea. Herbie climbed to the top of the tallest tomato plant. On his way back down, he wrote a message. Look at me, I've climbed so high that I can see the world pass by. Mice and ants, an old black shoe. But Mary Lou, where are you? I've left you poems near and far. Won't you tell me where you are? Love, Herbie. And that night, when Mary Lou went out to snack on a tomato, she found Herbie's message glistening in the garden. What joy, what gladness, what delight. Mary Lou could hardly contain herself as she hurried to the barn. She's so excited. He finally saw her poems. The next morning, the first thing Herbie saw. Your ride is sublime, Herbie dear. I am here. She wrote on the side of the barn there. She's waiting inside for Herbie, isn't she? And as always, when she saw Herbie, poetry filled Mary Lou's head. She said, Herbie, I am Mary Lou. We meet at last. How do you do? Herbie was tongue-tied. Suddenly he felt shy, but at last he blurted out, I am fine. Will you be mine? Aww. Look at the two slugs. I think they're in love. And Mary Lou and Herbie lived happily ever after. Do those look like baby slugs to you? Did Herbie and Mary Lou have baby slugs? I think maybe they did. And that's the end. And I thought this was a cute picture. You made a heart. All right. Well, I hope you enjoyed this story about Mary Lou and Herbie. I have one more book that I'd like to read very, very quickly for you. It's called There Was an Old Lady Who Swallowed a Rose. This old lady, she shows up in a lot of different books. She swallows all kinds of weird things. Maybe you've heard of her. Well, today she's swallowing a rose. I don't think that's a good idea. Let's find out what happens to her. There was an old lady who swallowed a rose. I don't know why she swallowed the rose, but that's how it goes. There was an old lady who swallowed some lace. She didn't race to swallow that lace. She swallowed the lace to tie the rose. I don't know why she swallowed the rose, but that's how it goes. There was an old lady who swallowed some glitter. She wasn't a quitter to swallow the glitter. Don't know if that's a good idea. She swallowed the glitter to trim the lace. Trim means to decorate or make it look pretty. She swallowed the lace to tie to the rose. I don't know why she swallowed the rose, but that's how it goes. There was an old lady who swallowed some candy. It was fine and dandy to swallow that candy. She swallowed the candy to garnish the glitter. She swallowed the glitter to trim the lace. She swallowed the lace to tie the rose. I don't know why she swallowed the rose, but that's how it goes. There was an old lady who swallowed a jewel. She wasn't a fool to swallow that jewel. Fool and jewel, they rhyme. There's lots of rhyming words in this story, aren't there? She swallowed the jewel to brighten the candy. She swallowed the candy to garnish the glitter. She swallowed the glitter to trim the lace. She swallowed the lace to tie to the rose. I don't know why she swallowed the rose though, but that's how it goes. There was an old lady who swallowed some hearts. She showed her smarts by swallowing those hearts. Those look like the hearts that are inside of your craft kit, doesn't it? Yeah, there's a pack of hearts just like this in your craft kit. She swallowed the hearts to surround the jewel. She swallowed the jewel to brighten the candy. She swallowed the candy to garnish the glitter. And she swallowed the glitter to trim the lace. She swallowed the lace to tie the rose. I don't know why she swallowed the rose, but that's how it goes. Looks kind of pretty in there, doesn't it? There was an old lady who swallowed a card. It wasn't hard to swallow the card. She's gotta be starting to get full, doesn't she? Her stomach's so full. It brought the old lady so much happiness that she smiled and laughed and blew a big kiss. And look what came out when she blew that kiss. All that stuff, that candy and the lace and the glitter and the rose and the card, it all came out. And it says, Happy Valentine's Day. And the card says, Happy Valentine's Day, love, the old lady. That was kind of a silly story, wasn't it? I hope you enjoyed it. One last thing that I would like to tell you before we end. So inside your craft packet, like I mentioned, there were some candy hearts for you, and there is an activity. You might want to get mom and dad to help you with that one. But there was a little paper with the candy hearts, and you're going to need to sort all your candy hearts out by color, and then use the paper inside your packet to make some tally marks to show how many of each color there were in your box. The other thing that you're gonna find inside your packet is the materials to make this nice, cool Valentine's Day wreath. So I put directions on the outside for you. You have a lot of cutting to do with this because you have a lot of hearts. See all these hearts on my wreath? You have a lot of hearts to cut out. So get your cutting fingers ready. And you might need mom or dad or an adult to help you cut the center out. You see how there's the center is missing on this? You might need mom or dad to help you cut the center out, but that's okay. They can help you with that. And I used to put my hanger on, I used a stapler to put this red little ribbon on top here. Make sure if you staple it on that you do that first before you start gluing your hearts on, because the hearts will actually help cover up the staple so you don't see it. So there are directions on the kit, but really all you're doing is just cutting out the hearts, cut out the center of the plate, and then glue the hearts around it. And don't forget to put your hanger on, your little piece of ribbon that's in there. You can put it on before you start gluing. The stapler I felt like was more sturdy than gluing it, but you can glue it too if you'd like. Okay, and then you can put this anywhere you'd like to decorate for the holiday. So boys and girls, that's all I have for you today. I will see you next week. We're gonna be talking about the word unique and reading some cool books about people and animals who are unique. So I hope you have a great week, and I will see you next week.